You're listening to the Macky Rat podcast. And, oh man. Anyways, first of all, we're a comedy podcast. We talk about movies, news, pop culture, and our personal lives. And tonight we are going to talk about a lot of great topics, so you'll want to stick around. We got Trump, and he's renamed the Department of Defense. We're going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. People love the movie Annabelle. You ever seen Annabelle?
No. Is that the doll one or something?
That's the doll one. And the guy who owned
with the
doll,
dancing meme or something?
No, that's Megan.
Oh, that's a different one?
Yeah, she's not a doll. She's a robot.
Huh.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about people love Annabelle. So we're going to talk about that. But a long time ago, what's so funny?
It just occurred to me how funny it is, the fact that you knew that immediately, that it was the Megan dancing doll.
Yeah, of course.
You really are a master of memes, I'll say that.
People love the Megan doll, robot dance. And people love the Annabelle doll. I have to hear that stuff. So the thing is, anyways, you're going to want to stick around for that. And we promise that that's going to be really great. But part of our podcast is also meandering stories like this one. So, Caleb, the difference between you and me is I work with regular people. Well, not anymore now that Andy's gone. Now I work with a Jew and an Arab, which is horrible. It's like being stuck in hell. Or it's like being in like the Gaza-Israel border.
That does sound remarkably similar to that.
Yeah. Minus, the really awful, horrible human rights stuff. And genocide.
The children starving.
Yeah. Minus
dying
all
of
that
starvation.
genocidal, Israeli genocidal, or Jizraeli.
Jizreal.
I like to combine.
What a cool
them.
country name, Jizreal.
Genociding Israel is Jizraeli Sidian. Anyways, so I have to hear about people who love stuff all the time. I had to hear people talk about Annabelle and how it's scary, which it isn't. Dolls aren't scary for me personally.
All right.
I mean, it's much scarier to... Actually, it does scare me. Now that I think about it. Sometimes I have a dream where I still have Ninja Turtles, and the Ninja Turtles are, like, alive. And it's like it's not a nightmare, but there is a sense of dread in the dream.
Okay.
So anyways, I had to have people talk about Annabelle and how scary it is. And then years later, I had to have Andy tell me that he's thinking about being Megan for Halloween.
Really? This actually happened?
Yeah. So I was like, do you think you have the body for that?
I love how you just like an innocent query to see where it leads.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not gonna say don't do that if you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting idea, Eddie. But let me pose this question to you.
Yeah, you drag and Megan. It's like whatever. I'm not one of these people. One of the most annoying things is when people are like, you don't have the exact height, weight, whatever to cosplay this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
You don't have the height to be a samurai.
Yeah, you don't have the height.
Everyone knows samurai. We're like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, right. No, that's the one thing I can do to like stick with samurai, stupid. You can't be whatever to, Kenshiro.
Yao Ming.
I can't be Yao Ming. That's fucked up, man.
You should say you're gonna cosplay as Yao Ming this October.
That's what I was talking about today.
That's a sweet cosplay.
I was talking about that's so crazy that we're gonna get into this stuff. If you're still listening, we are gonna get into this stuff. But we were talking about also earlier how Jeremy Lin, people called him a chink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Yeah, because Jeremy Lin, I was like, no one ever called Yao Ming that. You know why?
Because he's like 8 feet tall.
I mean, no, I mean, what would you call Jeremy Lin a chick? Why are you going to do that?
Well, he's not as tall.
Because you're not afraid of him, right? Fuck you, Jeremy Lin.
I
beat
feel
your
like
ass.
Yao Ming might just eat me alive.
Yeah.
He's like just like a gigantic troll or something.
He does seem like that. Yeah. That is part of it.
Ogre.
No, you're right. That is part of it. Absolutely. I mean, it is that for most part, but because I was talking to Vanessa about it, I can't remember how we started talking about it, but I was like, because Jeremy Lin's like, hey, yo, what's up, yo? It's me, you know, he had like cornrows and stuff like that. And you're like, all right, when it gets like that, you're like, we got to take, and he got a lot of money and stuff. It's like,
knock this guy down a peg.
Yeah, we got to take this guy down a notch. Exactly. You're not acting Chinese enough.
That's true. I feel that, honestly.
But Yao Ming's like this giant, like Frankenstein-esque Chinese guy. It's like,
yeah, exactly. This guy will never act anything but Chinese.
Yeah, and Ben was like, and he talked like really like what? It's like, yeah, he's like, hey, Yao Ming, and it's like, oh, you're like, that's a Chinese guy. That's how I expect a Chinese, if not all of China, to be like, right? And you're like, oh, this is. You don't need to do you know, it's like I can't quite fully figure out that thought, but that's the reason behind it, I believe.
Sure, yeah.
Anyways, I really can't remember where I was going. Oh yeah. So I have to work with stupid people, and they love stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Annabelle doll apparently is real. It's the most haunted doll in, I guess, America. Maybe not the world, but America.
Wow.
You never heard? Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Oh yeah, it's very famous. It's very old and famous. But if you had to guess, what country do you think the most haunted doll would be from?
What country? I have no idea, but I would guess from the African continent.
No way, China. That's what I'm gonna guess. Some dumbass Chinese doll flying around and shit.
I would have guessed like some kind of voodoo thing, but yeah, all right.
I mean, come on.
You're thinking like some Cienko type of doll, just
I just
with like scissors
China.
for hands or something.
I mean, they're the number one in everything. Why not haunted dolls too? That's what I'm saying. We can't compete with them in any front. Anyways, this Annabelle doll, I think there's been lots of stories about it. I don't even think like this Annabelle movie is whatever. It's from the 70s, actually.
It's from that long ago. Wow.
Yeah, it's.
Have you gone back to work, by the way? Are you back at work?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Get this, the Annabelle doll that's so scary in the stupid fucking movies. It looks like the Megan robot, yeah. But get this, the real doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. That's less scary.
Really? Let me see that. How did you just type like real Annabelle doll?
I just typed in Annabelle doll.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's exactly a Raggedy Ann. Okay.
It's a Raggedy Ann doll. I gotta wonder if Chucky's based off Annabelle too. Maybe. I'm gonna say maybe. Let's ask ChatGPT. Is Chucky inspired by the Annabelle doll?
All right.
Yeah, that's less scary. Anyways, so the Annabelle doll, anyone who's still listening knows all about the stupid Annabelle doll. Maybe they didn't know about the Raggedy Ann doll. I didn't know that. That's woefully unscary. But recently...
It says that no, Chucky's origin was more influenced by consumer toys like Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's the look. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. The Cabbage Patch Kids are pretty scary.
True.
Cabbage Patch dolls. Yeah, they like they're birthed from like cabbage. That's fucking scary.
You should suggest to Andy that he instead dress up as Raggedy Andy.
I call him that all the time. I used to call
Yeah,
him Raggedy
exactly.
Andy.
That's a great fit. That's what I called him when you told me his name.
Yeah, everyone calls him Raggedy Andy. No one even calls him Andy but me.
Yeah, I love that too. His real name is just Andre.
His name's Andres C. But he told me, he's like, when we first met, I was like, what do you like to be called, this and that? He's like, well, a lot of people call me Andres. Some people call me this. A lot of people call me Andy. And I was like, all right, what do you prefer? And he was like, I guess Andy. So I call him Andy all the time. And then one day, we were like, why does he call you Andy, this and that? And he's like, oh, this and that. And I was like, he's like, oh, he's like, well, no one really calls me it but him. And I was like, what? I was like, why? On the very first day we met, you told me this story. And I told him that. And he was like, yeah, well, I like Andy. You can call me that. I was like, all right, I'll continue doing that. Anyways, this Annabelle doll was recently bought by famed paranormal investigator Dan Rivera. You know anything about this Dan Rivera guy?
No.
I thought you loved horror stuff.
I do. I just don't go deep into the lore of it.
Remember Taps?
No.
Dang. It was like on the paranormal investigator thing. They used this thing called Taps to like talk to ghosts and stuff and all this stuff. Do you remember that show?
It was just like one of their tools or whatever?
Yeah. It was called Taps.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't remember that.
And they'd like record stuff. That stuff is scary. I mean, it's not really that scary, but
it's terrifying. Yeah.
If you recorded something, what if we were on the podcast? What if we were just talking on the podcast, and then in the background, talk about something. Talk about the Megan meme.
Oh, so the Megan meme is a doll from a movie, I guess, that dance around, and people like to imitate the dance on TikTok. See, Discord automatically cuts you out, so I couldn't hear you saying anything. But yeah, I knew what you were going for. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's even better, because that's how it is with these things, Like people are just talking, they can't hear it,
later
and then
turn
they listen.
The volume to like 11.
Yeah, it's like what the hell was that? This will sound perfect when me and Vanessa re-listen to the episode 5 times next week. Anyways, you didn't watch the Annabelle movie either?
Nah, it looked terrible, honestly. I mean, I like terrible horror movies, but not ones that are like, I don't know. I don't want to say like a female ghost, but kind of that energy, I guess.
Yeah, female ghost. Yeah, exactly. Like the Ghostbusters should have been like, and like, what's the problem here? Like, we have a female ghost, and then they look at each other and they're like,
just stop being a little bitch, okay? Let's go, boys.
And then who's the guy? Bill Murray's like, guys, it's time to use this. And they're like, okay. And then he like pretends to jack off. And then Slimer flies in and slimes the guy's face. And he's like, oh, I'm coming on you. He's like, anyways.
That's a good bit. They should have used that one.
He's like, anyways, you want my advice? Try to catch a BJ from the female ghost, like how Dan Aykroyd did in the movie. See it, jerk. And then they're like, okay. Like, you guys are assholes, man. And they're like, yeah. Ghostbusters 3.
That's a cool one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, they should let me write and direct a Ghostbusters movie. That'd be badass.
Slime cum shots. Yeah, very cool bit.
That's one of the bits. Yeah, they now only capture old black slave ghosts.
Wow.
That's the main premise. Anyways, Dan Rivera, cause of death. So he's a paranormal investigator, and he obtained the Annabelle doll, and everyone said that it was going to kill him. Yeah.
And so I imagine it did.
2 weeks later, he died.
That's awesome.
And then there's this BS article that's like this. Listen, this is from an article. This is from God knows what. I guess Newsweek. Aren't they legitimate? I guess it's legitimate. Whatever. Journalism is not real, but Mr. Rivera had a known history of cardiac issues, which were consistent in the findings. They also confirmed that Annabelle was not present in the room at the time of his passing. How do they know?
Yeah.
They went in there and the doll wasn't in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't the doll just have gotten up and walked out of the room?
Well, yeah, presumably if the doll was responsible for his death.
The doll was absolutely... There's no question in my mind that this doll killed him.
So one thing to do, purchase the doll and find out.
Yeah, I'm going to purchase the doll and then... you know what would have been better, actually?
What?
If they found him keeled over the doll and he had put installed a fleshlight in it and he was effing
the doll. Yeah. Dead wolf fucking the doll. That'd be cool, yeah.
He had a history of cardiac issues and it was consistent with the findings. Yes, the doll was present, but we do not believe it was part of the death still.
The doll was indeed present at the scene, but we do not believe it was responsible.
We don't have to get into the details. We don't have to get into the gritty details of it, but
he did have a history of inanimate perversion, but we do not believe the doll is responsible.
Yeah, let's not stop trying to get these Chinese sex dolls out. In full easy to, anyways. I remember what I was going to say, sorry. All the way back at the beginning, we're the Macky Rap podcast. We talk about lots of funny stuff. A long time ago, Caleb. How did we start? I remember getting to that point. What interrupted us?
Probably something about I think I was laughing and then you asked what I was laughing at.
Oh God, you have a good memory. You rule, man. That is so funny. I think that's right. Yeah. That's amazing. Anyways, a long time ago, we had the Macky Rap podcast episode 64. But I distinctly recall, and maybe you have a better memory, so you might remember better than me. I distinctly recall we did not talk about Nintendo 64 on that episode.
That seems unbelievable, but yeah, it's possible.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, this is Macky Rap Podcast episode 164.
Oh.
So, yeah, I think it's appropriate we talk about some N64 stuff.
All right.
Well, what do you give me some N64 memories?
007. I feel like everyone's got some memories playing 007, some Star Fox with the boys, 4-player co-op.
Can you give it? Yes, thank you. That's true. It did have those options. Can you give a more specific story about N64 than that?
What kind of a specific story do you want?
Just some wholesome N64 memory thing. Like we were at a sleepover and this and that. And we were playing N64, and then when everyone went to sleep, I rubbed one out. Something like that.
Wow,
Doesn't have to be.
That is a very specific story.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, I'll tell mine. Let me tell you one. I'll tell you one, and then you can tell one. This is gonna set the standard, right?
Okay.
I went to so when Nintendo 64 came out, Mario 64 was a very popular game. It was a pretty incredible game, if not extremely clunky, and people love it, but in actuality, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But there is this part of the game where you race down basically a water slide, but it's ice because they can't make water. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And you race a penguin, right?
Yep.
And also, the the Beavis and Butthead movie had came out, and the Beavis and Butthead movie soundtrack was available. And on that soundtrack was a cover of Roller Coaster of Love. Roller Coaster, parentheses, of Love, by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which sucks compared to the original. I can't remember who sings it. Oh man, it's right into my tongue. God darn it. Anyways, Roller Coaster rules. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers cover sucks. But I was a dumb kid. I didn't know.
I think you're referring to the Ohio Players, perhaps?
Yeah, the Ohio Players. Yeah, first of all, that name rules.
That name does, absolutely.
We're the Ohio Players. Hell yeah, dude. That's hella, to quote them, that's some player shit right there.
That is, absolutely.
So I was, not afraid to ask, with asking, the worst they can say is no, right?
Sure. And
so what I wanted to keep doing for a long time was keep playing that Roller Coaster X like part in the Mario game while playing the song Roller Coaster of Love covered by the Red Hot Chili Peppers from the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack over and over again. And it annoyed the other kid, his name was Anthony, so badly that he never invited me to a sleepover ever again.
Wow.
Pretty great.
That is a good story, yeah. I don't think I have any story to top that one.
What about really nothing?
I do have a story.
All right.
I remember me, you, and Jason would have sleepovers. And we of course would play some Nintendo 64. And one evening we were playing NBA Hang Time, which he sucked at. So he suggested that we instead start playing some Star Fox 64, which he is kind of a savant at. And
idiot savant.
This motherfucker would not let up at all. Like, he made it the most unfun experience for both me and Mr.X. It was just like unplayable. So that's my N64 story. The one thing I recall that stands out in my mind right now.
Yeah, I remember
Jason making Star Fox 64 multiplayer very unfun.
There's so many people who play games like that. In fact, that somehow became
the norm.
The main style gamer now, just doing stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Very not fun. And that Star Fox multiplayer thing was not fun, in my opinion. It's like kind of like almost like a a super hardcore sim, like in how it played out. It's like everyone's just looping and
yeah.
It's an annoying game. Yeah, NBA Jam Hang Time roll. I totally remember that.
Yeah, Hang Time was dope.
Another funny Jason sleepover thing is, or actually, it wasn't a sleepover. It happened during daylight, but he had Nintendo 64 and it was a great multiplayer game system, right?
Sure, yeah.
But there was also a select few single player only games.
Yeah, I guess there were. Yep.
There was one called Quest 64, which is such a dumb name. Sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's very generic sounding.
And he liked that game, so I went over there, and then like the whole day he was playing Quest 64.
That's a very Jason thing to do. Yeah.
That sucks, dude. I was like, this game, and the game's so like, some people like it now. I guess it has like kind of a cult following, but
It does have a cult following, yeah, especially in the speedrun community.
in speed running, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I didn't see anything interesting. You know, there've been countless Final Fantasy games at this point.
Sure.
This is post Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was like, what's the appeal of this game? And, you know, he's like, oh, it's, you know, I don't know what he said. Who knows? It wasn't because it's fun and cool. That's a sweet answer. Yeah, basically, yeah. I guess to like someone who, I mean, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend that I have the ability to dive into the mind of an autistic person. Clearly autistic person. You know, it's like, good Lord, like what am I supposed to do here? But anyways, the Nintendo 6, that's our Nintendo. I'm glad we didn't. What were some good games? Let's do some quick, obscure N64 games.
Okay. Mischief Makers.
Oh, Mischief Makers is good. Yeah, that game rules.
Yeah.
How about the game where you're like an orange guy who shoots bugs? Remember that game?
I do not know. The only game I can think of that's even close to that is Jet Force Gemini, but I know the one you're talking about, and that's not it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that game. Whatever it's called.
I'm gonna go with that game.
It's very boring. What's Jet Force Gemini? Why does that sound familiar?
It's like a rare game. I guess it was a little bit popular, has a bit of a cult following itself. I liked it back in the day, but I played it recently because I actually own it, and it does not hold up. But yeah, it's just another kind of third-person shooter game where you're on another planet and you fight a lot of bugs.
It's always been like people love fighting bugs. It's like I guess a phobia type thing. I don't know. People love that stuff. I think it's boring. Like you know.
Yeah, I'd rather shoot people.
Absolutely, people are more evil than bugs. You know, they know they're not supposed to be killing people. Like you're just killing a bug. It's like, good Lord, it's just doing what it you know, what's pea brain has it exist for. You know.
Sure, yeah.
Humans are like, oh, we're going to do that. We're going to go in there. We're going to kill all the bugs that the humans have domesticated, and then we're going to kill them, and we're going to rape all the women. And you're like, this is a bad guy, you know, not just a mindless bug. You know, we're going to protect our country from nations of invaders trying to stop our great economic progress.
Nations of bugs.
Nations of bugs. Yeah. Well, it's basically that now. I mean, I guess people in the military, God bless them, aren't much smarter than bugs, really, from my experience.
It's true, yeah. Yeah.
I have some family in the military, and I've had the luxury of working with. So let me tell you another thing, okay? N64 done. GoldenEye. It's a banger. Yeah. Everyone wanted to be Odd Job. Great. Jerk.
Yeah, true, yes.
So anyways, let me tell you something real quick. If you work in the like most people who are like in the military, they go on to like jobs where they're like, we're going to give you a job because you're in the military and like, you slicked your hair back, you this and that, you drive a truck, you talk whatever, and it's like you're blah, blah, blah. But if you're working at a regular job and someone from the military, former military person is working there with you, they are insane.
Yeah, that's true. Very often the case.
They have PTSD for sure. They're weird. they're just weird. They just couldn't do this and that, or like maybe there's the off chance they're like in college or something.
They might end up killing you, most likely.
Absolutely. One time, I went to this guy's house. His name was some Mexican guy. Maybe he was El Salvadoran or something like that. But
Steve,
yeah, Esteban we'll call him. And he was like this and that, and he was in the army, and he was actually like in combat, right? And he was off, but I didn't think he was insane, right?
yeah.
Before that, we went out to dinner one time, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast now that I think about it. But we went out to dinner, and he was like, I'll take a O'Doul's. And I don't really drink, so I was like, okay, get what you want, right? And he was like, yeah, it's a Irish beer, it's an old Irish beer, this and that. I was like, all right, cool. You know your stuff. And then the waitress was like, just to let you know that O'Doul's is a alcohol-less beer. Do you still want it? He was like, no, I guess not. So I knew he was an alcoholic because he loves drinking beer, but he doesn't know anything about it, right?
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. Yeah, that was a good story. I'm like, this is just a dumb guy from the military. I'm not going to judge him. I don't care if you're smart or not, whatever. But then I went to his house one time, and he got hella drunk. And let me tell you, I was never more certain that I was going to have to fight for my life than being there. Sure. Because he had gone, he like drank a lot, and I was drinking a little. And then he like just was like, started talking like random military stuff. He's like, those boys, those were my boys, man. And they got, basically they were shot to hell, and they were killed right there, this and that. I was like, wow. I was like, I knew we're seeing some active duty, but I didn't know like people fucking died in front of you and shit, I wouldn't have gone over.
Yeah.
And
we celebrated them by pounding some O'Doul's.
Yeah.
Wasted.
Drank a bunch of O'Doul's. I drank so many O'Doul's that I actually got drunk.
I could see straight.
Thinking about their, bullet-riddled corpses in my arms, blood staining my hands, in my, in my nostrils. I could smell it for days. Their blood. Basically like stuff like that. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, all right, I gotta go. And then like he got super quiet and still and like, super crazy person and stuff. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. And his sister came out and was like, hey, this and that. Esteban, are you okay? This and that. And she's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like trying to talk him back into reality. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And she's like, yeah, I think you should. And I was like, are you going to be okay? And she's kind of like, I don't know. And I was like, I'm getting the fuck out. I don't give a fuck about this broad. I'm getting the hell out of here right now.
That was a wise choice.
Absolutely. And other military people are just jerks, They're too big of jerks to even get a job in like the some sort of like private military, consulting, whatever. Yeah. So it's just like, But none of them ever, bitched to me about bugs, I guess.
That's where this story started.
Yeah. All right, anyways, we love. So another thing, we're going to talk about Trump in his Department of Defense. But before that, we have a section for Caleb's facts, which I love. Caleb, lay some facts on us before I murder you in a, blind rage, PTSD rage.
Well, did you know that Michealngelo wrote a poem about how much he hated painting the Sistine Chapel?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a real artist.
True, yeah.
Like when you think about these old-timey artists, you think they're all like just some guys like, oh, hey, I'm doing all. It's like you don't think of them being like human beings, right?
Sure, yeah.
We elevate them so high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently he was I don't know if how many people know this, but he was mostly a sculptor. And so when he was approached by the Pope at the time to paint the Sistine Chapel, he's like, I mean, you probably want to get this guy to do it, Mr. Pope. Hey, Papa, you probably want to get this guy to do it for you. He's like, no, Michelangelo, it's got to be you. He's like, fuck, Mamma Mia, gotta paint the ceiling.
Yeah, you have to listen to the stupid Pope. You're like, oh, my fucking hate this Pope. He's the worst Pope ever.
Yeah.
There's no way there'll be a Pope in the future who, like, loves fucking gay people, man. Mamma Mia, this guy's a pain in my back.
Good times.
I've already grown a goiter from this torture, hunched up here like a cat in Lombardy, or any else where the stagnant water's poison. My stomach squashed under my chin, my beard's pointing at heaven, my brain crushed in a casket, my breast twists like a harpy's. I hate painting this fucking chapel.
Did you just Google it real quick?
Yeah, no, I memorized it. Like, this is one of the greatest hater poems ever.
Yeah, his beard twisted up. Yeah, that's sweet. Poor Michelangelo.
Yeah, but he did paint a sick ass fucking.
It was a sick painting. Yeah.
The Pope was actually kind of right in the end. That probably pissed him off the most.
That day, he's like, this motherfucker. I knew I should have showed it. It's because I was hot dogging. I knew I shouldn't have been fucking painting these sick ass paintings.
I know I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm praying. He probably was like, oh, I love a praying. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's great. He's like, fuck. I love the idea of these people just being like, I fucking hate doing that. That's the way most people are. Art becomes just like a job.
Hating their job.
Yeah, that's what it becomes. You're like, this sucks. I hate this. I hate these people. I used to chill with whoever the fuck. The king of Italy,
The king of Italy, yeah.
Now I'm hanging out with some asshole who's like basically like a Mexican day laborer who keeps farting on me. It's like I feel Michelangelo on this.
Even in the 15th century, people hated their job. That's cool.
Of course, way worse back then. Everything was way more dangerous. I can't imagine how dangerous painting a fucking ceiling would be back then. Good Lord. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Michealangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Well, I mean, I guess I gotta go with Raphael.
I guess every sane adult man has to go with Raphael. That's a lame question.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of person would be like, oh, Leonardo? It's like
Michelangelo's so cool, dude. He's partying all the time.
Yeah, Michelangelo's like some guy who's a degenerate, and then Leonardo's like some guy who just his job is telling on people at work.
Yeah, exactly. The Karen
too.
of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I can't imagine one person be like Donatello. Oh, maybe like a black nerd who's just so desperate to get out of the ghetto. He can't even be like. Yeah. He has to say Donatello just to be like, they'll try to get me to sell weed if I say Michealangelo. That's a good fact. That's a great fact, actually. I love that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to work in the everyday conversation, but that is great. It's good to know stuff like that. I didn't.
Yeah, I got two other pretty good ones, too.
All right.
Did you know that on Mars, sunsets are blue?
No. Why? Yeah. Our sunset's kind of blue.
Well, no, our sunsets are like orangey red.
Well, there's different shades of blue and like this, like it depends. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It's a kick-ass sunset.
I bet our sky is blue, but yeah.
Sometimes it's just like a gradient blue. Anyways, go on. Why?
It just has to do with the particles in the atmosphere, the size of the particles, because the thing that creates the color of the sky at any time is a scientific phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. And depending on the size of the particles, you get different colors. So because of the makeup of the Martian atmosphere, it's blue. And just in case you were curious, I'll show you a picture. Our listeners can't see it, but you can see it.
Yeah, if you're out there in Radioland, just Google search.
Google that shit, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's very Star Warsy.
Yeah.
This is fake. This is okay. So first of all, this is looking closely at this. This is completely fake. This is
just some Photoshop shit.
This might be from the Star Wars movie. How could they do it? Like this is like such BS. Like that this is the thing. You see stuff like this, and you really kind of realize that the flat Earth stuff is real, right?
Uh-huh.
Like we have never been to the moon or Mars. This is just BS, dude. There's no way. Just
making some shit up.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Let me show you an image. Anyone who's out there in TV land, you can look this up too. Do Luke Skywalker sunset, and then do sunset Mars, and look at these things side by side, and tell me that this isn't like this is just some. Well, maybe it's not exactly. It's like look at this. This is insane.
The same shit. This is just taken from the movie.
Yeah, I'm 99. Why can't I just drag this into Discord? Discord sucks. You have to fucking do all this bullshit just to. If I ever, who made Discord? It's not that guy. It's not that Jack Dorsey guy, is it?
No, Twitter only.
It doesn't matter.
I know what you mean. It does look like a composite of it.
Look at that. Zoom in. Okay, so zoom in. Crop out Luke. Zoom in. That little mound, horizon, and thing, and it's like, okay, that's the same. That's. We've never been to Mars. We've never left Earth because a glass dome covers it, and Earth is flat. I've never, after hearing that fact and seeing this picture, I've never been more certain of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
It sucks we won't live on Mars unless we put our brains in a robot.
Then we could prove it for sure that it was all just made up, and they have normal Earth-like sunsets.
Yeah, I mean, Earth sunsets are pretty beautiful.
Yeah, you'll get no argument from me there.
Anyways, Rayleigh scattering?
Rayleigh scattering, yeah.
Is there any place on Earth where it's different density that makes the sunset look cooler or anything like that? Or is it just the same everywhere? I don't know.
Well, I mean, depending on the cloud cover, you get different colors, but it doesn't ever quite look like that, I guess. It doesn't ever quite look like it does in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because it's not real. Because the Earth is flat, man. I would give anything to go watch sunset tomorrow with Vanessa, but there's no way in hell she'd do that.
You're right.
The beach. She doesn't like the beach. You know why she doesn't like the beach?
Because there's sand and it gets in everything.
There's too much sand. Yep, that's what she said. That's right. Too much sand at the beach, it turns out. I get it.
Wow. I wonder if she got that from Star Wars.
That's my favorite quote from Star Wars. They have those Chinese aliens and they're like, all the diplomatic discussion must happen in space. And like, why don't you want to do it on whatever planet? Dagobah. And he's like, too much sand.
Dagobah.
That's my
planet
favorite.
Of the Italians.
Planet of the Italian stupid complaining farting in your facers. We cannot go to the Dagobah place because everybody is always making fake farting sounds in our faces. It'll hold back diplomatic, discussion.
Yeah, it really just gets in the way of all the diplomacy.
I love the Chinese aliens. If you're out there in TV in Radio Land, Google search Chinese aliens, Star Wars. Just real quick, I'm going to take a look at these guys just because I love them so much.
It's funny how reliably it pulls up exactly what you're talking about.
I love the Chinese aliens. They fucking crack. These guys crack me up, dude. Also, very the way he did them, dude. Bring back George Lucas. Bring back racism in Star Wars. This is so stupid. All this fucking red and shit. I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out. Here's the list of people that I definitely, as the kids say, it's on site. 1, Jack Doherty for sure. Fuck that guy. He's getting beaten with his fucking tie-dye shirts and Birkenstock sandals. That's your ass, homie. 2, whoever, I guess Kathleen Kennedy just gets the brunt of everything, but whoever was responsible for getting George Lucas and his racist aliens out of Star Wars.
That's true, yeah.
I love these guys.
It was a much better series when those aliens were in there, for sure.
Absolutely, these guys. Anyways, do you have a third? Oh, wait, hold up. Look at this one. This is amazing. This guy might actually be Jewish.
Oh, wow.
Rubbing his money.
Clasping his hands. Yeah, that is. Oh, man. Great job. Excellent work.
He's a
Lucas.
genius.
You're the best.
He was. He is. He still is. But anyways, what's the third fact?
Did you know that Jimmy Carter was the first U.S. president to be born in a hospital?
Oh, the other ones were born in a log cabin, huh?
Yeah, like the field, basically. During a huge conflagration in the Civil War or something.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Born on the field of battle.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Those presidents were better. Yeah, that's when presidents started sucking. Maybe we should maybe that should be a thing. We can't have
a requirement, not born in a hospital. Yeah.
Born in a log cabin, and definitely not, or some hippie shit like like a water birthing or
home birth. Yeah, exactly. Born in a bathtub.
That's
clawfoot tub.
Yeah, clawfoot tub. I love that. I'd give anything to redo my house. Like my dad screwed up. He made it all modern, but before we remodeled it, it was like stuff like that. It was like an old timey house. It was better.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Clawfoot bathtub shoved under a faucet. Amazing.
Everything just like super Art Deco.
Yeah, it was all turquoise. The whole bathroom was like turquoise tiling with like gold accents and stuff. Super classy.
Yeah, yeah.
Very dank though.
Ivory faucets.
Nothing that nice. I remember like big, strong steel shit and shit. Whatever. Anyways, who cares? None of that matters. What matters is what is it?
Jew skin doors.
Yeah. Jews they're way too in control. But 50s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guess you'd still call them kikes, but they had planted, the seeds of running like everything, the media and the banks and everything, money stuff. Those were already past seedlings into strong little trees. So, anywho,
that happened during the Wild West.
Yeah. That people don't think that. People think the Wild West was like no Jewish people.
Yeah.
What's up with this Trump thing? You heard about this Trump and the Department of Defense?
I did, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. But it was a big deal.
So Trump signaled earlier in the week that he was going to pass an executive order, which is the kind of the famous thing that presidents in recent years have been known to do, that kind of is a way to get policy ideas passed without having to go through Congress. So he had an executive order, and he wanted to, the point of this executive order was to rename, quotes, in quotes, the Department of Defense to the original name, or something similar to the original name, which was the Department of War. Now, the reason I say air quotes around that is because he's not really renaming it because you can't do that. It was named the Department of Defense by Congress. But what you can do through an executive order is you can say it's okay to also call the Department of Defense the Department of War. So that's what his actual executive order does. It now makes it acceptable as an official position of the United States government to call or refer to the Department of Defense as the Department of War.
That seems like kind of, using these presidential things a little willy-dilly.
It is very silly, yes. It is very silly. I mean, you could do that for anything, so makes you kind of wonder, like, if he's going to do it for this, why didn't he just start naming all kinds of shit, some crazy shit?
Yeah, the George Washington Carver Department.
Yeah.
Why? This is like someone told him something in like passing. Like he was like doing like one of those tours where like, this is the Department of Defense. Interesting fact, if you like facts. And I'm there, I'm like, yes. He's like, quiet down there, Mr.X. I'm like, sorry, sir. And he's like, fun fact, it used to be called, and this is the full original name, the Department of Jew Warfare.
That is a very fun fact.
And then he's like, that's cool. I'm just gonna call it the Department of War.
We'll just shorten it to that.
What was he at the Super Bowl, Trump, or no?
I don't know. I feel like he probably was, yeah.
He should have got it he should have been like, when they're like, defense. And someone holds like a D and a fence like cut out.
Yeah, white picket fence thing.
He should be like, look at this. These people are pumped. And they're like, well, yeah, it's the Super Bowl, sir. And he's like, they love this defense thing. Have you heard of this you heard of this defense thing? And they're like, yeah, sure. And he's like, we should call it the Department of Defense. And then it's like, they're like, what do you mean? It is called that. He's like, yeah, but we'll make it D-Feds.
Yeah.
And a picture of a fence will be there. He's like, that's going to confuse people. He's like, fine, then just D-Feds.
We'll turn it into a rebus puzzle.
We'll move into a what?
A rebus puzzle.
What the hell is that?
Those are those puzzles where it just like, it describes what it is by showing it. So like the letter D and then a picture of a fence would be defense. That's called a rebus puzzle.
Oh, I love puzzles. Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, we'll do that and we'll put it, and then also we'll move the Department of Defense in the Trump Tower. It's way more classy. And we'll put defense on it. And then it'll be D-fence. Since I don't like at first I liked the idea of a D and then a picture of a fence, but then I heard it was a puzzle, and everyone knows that puzzles are gay. I've never done one in my entire life.
Yeah, that's true. I've never drawn anything, and I've never done a puzzle.
There's lots of artistic things in the world. I've never done any of them. Oh, there's another great thing, actually. Speaking of the Epstein card, which we're loosely referring to. Dude, and I 150% believe this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's new Trump Epstein stuff. Breaking Epstein news. We love Epstein and we trust that Epstein was completely innocent.
True.
But then also we also know that Donald Trump is completely innocent, except for being kind of a jerk.
Sure.
But then we heard about all this stuff Epstein did, and we heard that Trump was possibly related to the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, no, that can't be. How could they both be free of sin if they both committed horrible, sinful acts, right? Well, it turns out that Donald Trump, when he was going to Epstein Island, he was just doing it to catch Epstein because he was secretly an FBI informant.
That does sound like something that the QAnon folks would have informed us about.
Yeah, that's why we did. They were like, we knew it. Of course, that makes perfect sense. And he doesn't want to expose any other possible agents' names, even though I think everything that I've ever seen of Trump with Epstein is all like just like New York bullshit.
Yeah.
God, New York sucks. That's the one thing I
Have you
will
been to New York
hold.
before?
Yeah, I went.
Oh yeah, when?
I have a cousin who lives out there.
Wow.
This is many, many, many years ago. I mean, I didn't get to do anything, and we ourselves didn't do anything. It was way too fucking hot.
Was it the city or just some other place in New York?
Yeah, some other place. I can't remember where. Just outside the city.
Utica.
Maybe as something like that. Because she's from Buffalo, which is way up there. My mom went to Buffalo recently. And then there's some New York stuff, you know. It was just like any other big city stuff. I mean, it's nice. I would like to go back, actually. But not now because it's much worse. It's like it's like Death Wish now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, all those, same thing with San Francisco, same thing with all these cities.
You know, it's pretty crazy, though. I mean, you know, if you take the metro here in LA, I'm not worried about some nut job fucking whatever, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Taking BART or the metro in New York these days is
it's a little dicey.
You're gonna slip on something and fall on a fucking needle full of God knows what.
You're gonna have a homeless person, attack you or something.
Yeah.
Actually, Death Wish would be better now if he's like, "Good Lord, it's me, Charles." Let's see. How does Charles Bronson sounds a lot like Trump now I think about it. No dice. It's me. There we go. I'm Charles Bronson.
No dice.
No dice. Jesus Christ. What's going on over here? This woman. Wait a minute. What's that? It's a man. Wait, what's going on here? I don't know what's good. Oh, good. I don't know, but whatever it is, whatever's happening, she's getting an ass whooping right now. I'm no dice.
Yeah, that's.
He takes out like a magnum and just shoots a trans person.
That's the old Charlie Bronson, all right.
Oh, Charlie B in full force. You're telling me that we have a New Yorker as a president? My God. Trump is not doing this. Department of War stuff is not. This is like, you know, not what I got. Well, you know, I guess not me because I didn't vote, but our podcast.
You personally, this is not what I voted for.
I mean, our podcast. Well, technically, we endorsed both Trump and Kamala Harris. So we had the deck was rigged in our favor, you know. But since we did, I'd like to think that our podcast probably was one of the main factors leading to Trump, you know, becoming president.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Joe Rogan.
To a lesser degree, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. He was like, what does he want Trump to be president for?
I mean, I guess it was just Joe Rogan's mostly like a fan of kind of the Bernie Sanders ideology, where you kind of just look out for the little guy. And I guess he thought that Trump was going to be more on that side than Kamala, I guess. Is the only thing I can.
Yeah, that's true. And more than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is insane.
I
hate America. I hate this country. Damn America. I hate it. I love that, approach to, I hate America. Everybody, first of all, I'm Jewish. And I hate America. People were like, yeah, let's get this guy in. I was like, good Lord, what a Jew to be president? Stop.
Stop.
I was trying I was like running around grabbing people and being like, he's a Jew. He's great. He's gonna do whatever.
Like a scene in Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor's like pounding on the fence before the nuke goes off.
It's exactly like that. He's a Jew. He would have. This guy,
wake up.
I can't believe that. I mean, it's just like look, man, I don't know anymore. Oh, I forgot to ask. I was gonna say, you been up to anything cool lately?
Anything cool? No, I can't say that I have.
Anything fun? You do anything? You went to the stores. You had to wake up early a few times.
Yeah, I always wake up early to go to the store. We always go as early as possible to get in there before the crowds.
That's great. Beat the crowds to the store. Absolutely smart.
Mm-hmm.
What about your mom? How's she? Has she done anything fun lately?
No, nothing too fun. I wouldn't say.
What about friends group? Does she have any friends she goes out with ever or anything like that?
No. I mean, she talks to like the neighbors periodically, but that's about it, I think.
Really? She doesn't? Oh man! Even my mom is insane as she is. She has like a friend she goes out with, and then of course she always ruins friend relationships too.
Yeah, I think my mom will periodically. We used to have a neighbor who lived here, who she was good friends with, and every once in a while they'll revisit and hang out together. But yeah, not too frequently, I guess.
That counts, yeah. It's about the same. I remember there was this Chinese lady in the neighborhood, and when Wyatt was there, they'd go on walks and stuff because she'd babysit them and stuff, and like the other old people in the neighborhood, which won't happen with this new son, but there was this Chinese lady, and then they were like doing like walks and being nice, and she still does her walks and stuff. She just doesn't acknowledge us anymore. Because one time Wyatt was acting up, and she's Chinese, so she's like, "You should make sure he does not do that. Whatever he was doing, probably something bad, right?" And then I was like, "You haven't. I don't know if she's Chinese or, but I was like, yeah, I haven't seen you hang out with An lately. Why not? Like AHN, the Chinese Ann."
Yeah.
And she was like, well, you know what? I was there, and Wyatt was doing something or other, and she told him, she was like, we should have to teach him not to do that. And you know what? I really did like that, this and that. I was like, what are you, nuts? But that was enough for her never to want to see or interact with her ever again.
Wow.
Yeah, women are like that. Women can just be like, I'm not your friend anymore. Anyways.
You're dead to me.
Yeah. It's actually admirable, really, how cruel women can be. They have a capacity to be way crueler than any men. Well, anyways,
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, if you love comedy and you are, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when, you're, it's not like, you hate them, but you're suspicious of them.
Okay.
What's the other word I'm looking for? Like if you see a woman you want to cross the street,
wary?
Yeah, weary. Yeah. That's great. Weary, yeah. If you love comedy and you're weary of women, then you'll want to keep listening to us every week.
You're conflating two words. You're mixing leery and wary. And weary. Weary means tired, but yeah, if women make you tired, this is also a good podcast.
Oh yeah, whatever makes you, not want to be alone with a woman in a room at any given moment. Whatever that is, you're gonna love our podcast and want to keep listening. And we have a new episode every Saturday at This is another one where we didn't have that much. It wasn't as together as I wanted it, and then it's just becomes like a rambling mess.
Have you heard about this Kilmar Abrego Garcia guy?
No. Kilmar?
Yeah.
That's a sick name.
He's a guy from El Salvador. Yeah, he's an El Salvadoran.
Is this the guy we keep deporting?
Yeah. That's the guy that
great.
the administration's trying to deport, and we did one time and sent him to that big jail in El Salvador. Well, he's back now, and some judges said that he couldn't be deported until October, but breaking news, the Trump administration plans to deport him to, I thought this was very funny, Eswatini, also known as Swaziland.
Where's that?
It's a landlocked country inside of South Africa.
South Africa, not South America.
South Africa, yes. Yeah, no, not South. Nothing to do with Latin X or anything. It is in Africa.
This is like Africa. Black people Africa?
Absolutely, yeah. This is used to be called Swaziland. It's now known as Eswatini.
Swaziland's a great name. It sounds like an amusement park, but
yeah, hey, my kids go to Swaziland.
For what reason are we sending this guy to Africa? I mean, what connection does he have from? I thought we deported people back to their home countries.
Well, it's kind of a workaround, I guess, because it turns out because he's seeking asylum from his own country due to gang violence and the like. The law says we're not allowed to send him back home, but as a loophole, you can send him basically anywhere else. So we're going to send him to the middle of fucking nowhere, Africa, instead.
That's sweet. That is amazing.
It's very sweet.
It'd be we couldn't pick like a better country. We're like spiting this guy. We're like, you trying to come back here, motherfucker? We're gonna send your ass to Africa.
Basically, everything you need to know about Eswatini, you can glean from their flag. I'm gonna go ahead and just send you a picture of their flag right now.
I hope it's like an amusement park one. I hope there's like Mickey Mouse on it.
A roller coaster.
Yeah, roller coaster, Mickey Mouse. Oh, sweet. He's going to get... It's like a tribal
a
thing.
Shield. Yeah, exactly.
First of all, African flags are so much... When people are like, I love the red, white, and blue, this and that.
Oh, yeah. No, we got nothing on fucking African
like, fuck that. I like Swaziland's. That's a flag you can get behind. And the one with the AK-47 on it, that one rules.
Yeah, I think 2 African countries have AK-47s in them.
Yeah, that's a flag you can get behind. We need to redesign the American flag so it's like a M16s on it or something. That'd be badass.
Yeah. Colt Python on that motherfucker.
Put a African shield and spear, an M16, and like
a Duke.
Yeah,
mushroom cloud.
That'd be badass. I'm gonna have to read up on this guy. That's so funny. It'd be cool if we just pushed him. If we were like, this time Trump's on the plane with him. First of all, he's like, you're not gonna get back so easy this time. And he's like, what? Oh yeah, man. We'll see about that. I'll be back in your country in 24 hours. And then he's like, we'll see. Put this on. He's like, what is this? A backpack? And he's like, yeah, it's a backpack. Put it on. And he's like, okay, man, you're the boss. And then we just shove him out the plane door, and a parachute opens, and he just lands in this African country.
Lands in the fucking bush.
I imagine like
see you later,
those towns where everything's made out of like, every home's just a stone like square. I love Africa. Africa rules. Anyways, if you love Africa and X, you can tweet us at MACKYRATHOUSE. New episode every Saturday morning. And you can just type in the Macky Rap podcast and give us a download on YouTube too. That'd help. Anyways, anything else you want to add, Caleb?
I think that's it.
That is. I love that Going to Africa. I can't. I love a Mexican guy being in Africa. Actually, there's so much I want to talk about this. Really, that's sucks that we have to end the show. Anyways, God, that leaves him for. He's gonna be fixing everything. Don't be surprised if Swaziland becomes like the best African country. Like perfect lawns. Everything's all built.
Their fucking broke ass pickup trucks are like brand new now.
Yeah, that's gonna fix things in Swaziland big time. I reckon.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll see y'all next week.